We're turning in our student support focus this evening to supporting our students with special needs. We understand that we've been talking a lot about this forever, and especially since mid-March, because we know that the challenges of virtual learning are hard. It's challenging for every student, but it is especially challenging, and it is especially challenging for students with specialized learning needs. So we've been working to put together with our team, with Ms. Linden, with Dr. Marianne Fedician, and with our SISS team, working right alongside our APAC parents to put together exactly what parents can expect. And so what you're going to see this evening, trustees, is the distillation of what parents can expect and what we will do and offer if for any reason a parent feels like those expectations are not being met or they're not enough. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Linden and Dr. Fedician. And trustees, we do have a one-page document that we're going to publish. The information is on these next 3 slides, but we'll be publishing that one-page document and sharing it out in our weekly update, sharing it with the board, posting it on our website. We just think clarification is a good thing. Communication is important. And this is a great time to reiterate those messages that we've been hearing and sharing, and yet it's good to do so again. So with that, Ms. Linden and Dr. Fedician.
Thank you so much. It's our great pleasure to be here tonight. And thank you very much, President Johnson, trustees, and Superintendent Swift for the time. Really appreciate our colleagues who've just spoken about student supports from the school level. And Dr. Fedician and I, over the course of these many weeks that we've been virtual, have been working with our teams on the gen ed and the special education side of things to make learning as accessible as possible and as meaningful and relevant as possible in this online setting. And as Dr. Swift shared, it is not our first choice to be virtual. We would all rather be together with our students in our school buildings. But while we are virtual, our commitment is to do virtual the best darn way we possibly can and to provide an exceptional teaching and learning experience for students with all of the tools and the talents of this amazing AAPS staff. And so what you'll see today, as Dr. Swift mentioned, is just a reinforcement of our commitment to our families of students with special needs with an IEP. We want to be very clear with our families about our expectations for service during this period and support for our students. And also, as Dr. Swift mentioned, to provide a pathway, a very clear pathway when these services and supports just are not enough. We know it's not enough. We get it. And in between, we'd like to share just a little bit with our trustees and our public of some of the great teaching that is going on across the district in this virtual setting. So that's our goal, is to bring you a clip of 1 or 2 things each time we meet to share this update with you. And Dr. Fedician has the pleasure of sharing one with you from a self-contained classroom. And shortly after that, I have the pleasure of sharing a reading intervention small group clip with you as well. So I will turn this over to Dr. Fedician to talk about the goals of special education in our district while we're virtual. Dr. Fedician.
Thank you so much, Ms. Linden, and thank you very much, Board of Trustees, Dr. Swift, and the community. It's an absolute pleasure to meet with you all this evening. What we would like to do this evening is, as Ms. Linden and Dr. Swift mentioned, is share with you the commitment that our special education department has made to our students, to our families of our students with disabilities, and the expectations that those families can have for us. And we would like to share that with you in a visual form at this point in time. So we'll start off with, as Ms. Linden mentioned, our goal is to continue to provide services in every phase of our instructional plan to our students according to established IEPs, 504 plans, and the intervention support plans. It is our goal always is to address students where they're at and provide the full services as they're deserved. What families can expect? Well, what you can expect is that first and foremost, we will continue to prioritize the health, wellness, and safety of our students, staff, and families. That is the overarching theme of what we have been doing since not only the beginning of this school year, but also since we have gone into the virtual environment. All students will be engaged in synchronous instruction with a real-time teacher. Students should also be receiving related services. By related services, we mean speech, social work, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and our other support services as outlined in their IEPs. All students will have access to devices, support with connectivity, supplies, and materials distributed from their schools. And that includes our students with assistive technology. We are right there with them and ensuring that they have access to those devices. Teachers and service providers will be in regular communication and collaboration, not only with students, but with the families as well. We want to make sure that there's this continued contact and understanding and collaboration between the school and home environment. And then finally, we understand that in the virtual environment, as we've mentioned several times, that there may be barriers to fully implementing the IEP. In that case, we have developed contingency learning plans that are implemented to not only clarify those areas of concern, including instruction and supports. The CLP, as we call it, serves as a record of what we have done to address instruction and services, as well as what remains to be addressed when we are able to return to the face-to-face instruction. What we would like to do is share with you, if we may, one of our wonderful special education teachers, Miss Erin Anderson, who is a self-contained teacher at Hazley Elementary School. So we would like to show you, if possible, a little bit of her lesson.
Now it's time to check our agenda. And what's next is we're jumping right into our lesson. And we are going to get our practice with our own leaves. We have a pile of leaves over here on our left, and we need to move these leaves over into our two sets. We have two parts, orange and purple. And the leaves need to cover up the X. We're going to put one leaf on each X. So feel free to count with me as we move these over. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 leaves in our first set. So I'm going to write the number 4 above. And now I need to pull over more leaves to cover up these X's. We have 1, 2. Notice how I only gave one number word per each leaf. So I said there was 1, 2 leaves in our second part. So I'm going to write a number 2 here. And we had 4 in our first set. So now we need to count them all together. What is our total when we complete and put 2 parts together? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to keep counting. 5, 6. 6 is the last number I just said. So that is our new total. That's our sum. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Excellent job.
I do want to just give a little bit of a shout out to Miss Anderson and tell her thank you very much for submitting this. When we post that, we will show you just the excellent work that some of our teachers are doing, specifically to emphasize one of our instructional frameworks, which is Universal Design for Learning. We affectionately know it as UDL. And it's a way to ensure that we're providing multiple representations of a particular topic, multiple means for students to respond, and multiple means for them to be assessed rather than one identified process. The next slide that we were going to address is if for some particular reason, as a parent, we outlined the expectations that you have for special services. We certainly outlined our goal. But if for some reason your expectations you feel are not in line with what we're providing to you, there are multiple means for you to get some response and for your concerns to be heard. We will always stress that your first point of contact will be your student's teacher, case manager, and or the building principal. They are the individuals that work with your student first and foremost. Our recommendation is always to start with the teacher and the building. If for some reason there is a concern and your issue needs further, I would like to address that to the SISS assistant director that's associated with your school. What we have here, if you can, Andrew, is the SISS, which for those of you that may not be familiar with that, we use that acronym frequently. It's Student Intervention and Support Systems. There is an assistant director responsibility chart. So at the present time, we have in place 3 assistant directors. Each assistant director is responsible for supervising a particular school, both elementary, middle, and high school. And they provide the opportunity and access for you to be able to be that liaison between the school and the parent. The next point of contact also is we have a SISS hotline. The hotline has been in place since the beginning of the school year. You'll see that the hotline number is 734-994-8292, and it is manned from the times of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. As a parent, if you contact this number, you will reach our office professionals who will assist you in directing your concern to the most appropriate person. The other point of reference for parents is we have an online parent support. And this is an online parent support, which is in the form of a form that you can insert your name, contact information, and area of concern. That particular online parent support is manned through our department, specifically through me. And we will also direct you to the most appropriate person with whom can help support you in your particular issue or area of concern. That is, again, manned by our department, and it is something that we review on a daily basis. Additionally, we have our Ann Arbor Parent Advisory Committee. If you're not already involved in the Parent Advisory Committee, we have a very active Parent Advisory Committee to help parents of students with disabilities. They meet on a monthly basis. The link here is something that you can connect with. They have a website page on our website, and they would be happy to converse with you and have you join in their group and their organization as a way to advise not only the SISS department, but to support parents and families in their goal and ensuring their child's receiving what they need in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. And finally, our last group is Parent and Advocacy Supports. You will see, unfortunately, our links aren't working very well this evening, and we do have some slight technological glitches. It will be on our website, but you'll see a wide variety of parent advocacy and supports in the community. One of the things that we encourage in the SISS department, if we feel that parents need additional support to be able to feel encouraged and empowered in those IEP meetings, we will support and encourage you to solicit the services of an advocate. That includes a wide variety of individuals. There are individuals who are free of service, certainly, and provide these services as a support for all parents of the community. And again, we encourage that partnership between parents and the schools. We want us to ensure that it's a working partnership between the school community and the parents. So we encourage you to work collectively and collaboratively together from and with your teams.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fedishin. This is Bernadette Swanson. She is one of our building literacy experts at Pattongill Elementary School. She is one example of the extraordinary work of this team of reading interventionists who work with small groups of students who need that extra level of support for reading instruction. She was highlighting how she's working with a small group of students to support and show them how to use the myOn system to not only find books of their interest, but also to support with their small group reading. And so in this, you'll see 4 or 5 students with Bernadette while they're walking through some series. They're really popular with students, and she's turning the kids on to books. And in the end, she asked them if they're interested in any of those. And some of them say, yes, I am interested. And in that very moment, Bernadette is able to send them that book to their account, and they click on it and they can begin reading.
Okay, third graders, yesterday I shared a series that I noticed a lot of third graders were reading, and I wanted to just remind you of that one. So yesterday I had noticed a lot of friends were reading this series with this character Gus, and he is a hedgehog, and he acts like a human and has the same kind of problems that we do, like a bully and going to camp. And so lots of kids have been reading this book. And today I wanted to show you a different series. And I noticed that I picked this one because Jo-ung, every time I read with him the last couple of days, he has been really reading sport books with sports. And so I discovered, and ironically, Jo-ung, you were reading one of these today, which was amazing. So I want to show you a new series that you might want to read if you like sports. So this series is called the Sports Illustrated Kids series. And you'll notice just by looking at the cover that all of these books have a sport theme. The cool thing about these books is it's a true story. It's not true, but it seems true. And it's a character that is having a problem that he has to overcome. So it's the same. It would be really good books to read when you're doing your character studies right now. So I'm just going to open one. This one's called The Hoop Rat. So this is a realistic fiction book because it could happen. And I just want to show you that this is a graphic novel, which I know is really popular with third graders. So it looks like a cartoon, but we call that a graphic novel. So I wanted to show you this series because if you are interested in reading books like Jo-ung is that have characters that are really struggling with something, but they also are real, then that would be a great series for you to pick. So as I discover these and as you discover them, I want you to just share with me the series or the books that you're really enjoying so that we can start having you share with each other so we can keep learning about all the amazing books that are in myOn. And I also want you to know that if I share a bundle of books with you, like Gus or the Sports Illustrated Kids, if you want me to send those books to you, you just have to let me know and I will send them to you through your myOn account. So anybody that wants Gus or Sports Illustrated Kids, just let me know and I'll send them. Okay? Yes, Akshan.
Can I have the sports books?
Yeah, I will send them to you. And Sanaya, what did you want to say?
I want the Gus books.
Okay. So I'm going to go into myOn and I will send you the books. And then when you open your project, you will see those in there. And then they'll just all be in one place for you to read. Okay. On Friday, I would love for you all to share a book that you read this week that was really awesome and that you think third graders would want to read. So be ready to share a little book talk with each other, okay? Because I know that you can give each other good advice about good books in there.
So that doesn't happen even in a brick and mortar setting. So there are some silver linings about being virtual, and we did want to share that with you, and also to highlight the incredible work of Bernadette Swanson. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Ms. Erica Hatt, who is the coordinator for elementary ELA and social studies. And she works with this incredible team, and her vision and leadership in the work of launching myOn and so many other literacy initiatives while being online is really commendable. And I'm so very proud of all of them. So I think I'll turn this back over to you, Dr. Swift, and Dr. Fedician and I. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate this clarification on expectations that our parents of students with special needs can have and that our team shares. We also know that as we move through this year, that our students with high impact special needs will be among the very first small groups that will bring into the building for direct instruction. And that once we move into that hybrid plan, those students will be receiving more additional, as much as twice as much face-to-face time, because we do know how important that is. And so with that, President Johnson and trustees, were there questions for our special education portion of our student supports emphasis this evening?
Thank you, Dr. Fedician. Thank you, Ms. Linden. Ms. Parks, you jumped in again. You all may be back, but just want to echo the sentiments of my fellow trustees. Just to tell you, we really appreciate the hard work, also the humility and acknowledging that we do want to improve, but just know that we understand how hard you're working, how much extra time you're putting in, and I know sometimes it's difficult to hear some of the comments, but you do have our support as a board. So thanks. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Take care.